Hi, so my webcam is not working, but that's okay because you guys are going to look at a beautiful picture of Montana in the spring. Um, Sorry, my voice sounds a little bit weird as well. I'm not feeling great. But so this grading policy is for a fourth grade classroom. Um, I plan to teach anywhere between kindergarten to fourth grade, and I actually think this policy could be implemented at higher and lower grades as well. Um, I'm going to take an idea from the Wormelli video we just watched, where homework should be called practice. I'm sorry, the cat. You might hear her in the background. Sorry about that. Yeah, so homework should be called practice instead. Yeah, homework has just such a negative connotation these days that I just think changing the word and also changing the way we think about it is very important. So every district, every school has a different requirements when it comes to practice. And this is what I would want in my classroom for my students. So practice is going to be a packet. Oh, I should mention that I kind of designed this around a math class specifically, but you can do it for any class really. I just thought it would be easier to kind of grasp if we had a class to think about. Yeah, so it's going to be a packet that's given out at the beginning of a unit. Um, and it's going to be practice problems with both real world and non real world examples. So students can basically connect into their everyday life because, who wants to do a math problem that they have no idea how to do? But if it's something that they see in their everyday life, you know, they're going to have a little bit better idea. Um, at least that's what we're learning. Yeah, so this packet was primarily done in class and is used as a teaching tool. Um, it should be noted that these practice packets in class are going to be completed in groups, pairs, or individually, even as a whole class. It's kind of a catch-all packet. Like they can take notes in it. They can do, their practice problems. They take them home. It's kind of like an everything packet. So it's easy for them to remember where everything is. Yeah, so the problems that students don't complete are going to be taken home to be completed. They would have until the week's end, and so till Friday, before they leave my class. They would have till then to complete it and then turn it in. Um, yeah, and so then the packets would be reviewed by me probably over the weekend. Um, And then, so I'll be using a 420 grading scale on these practice packets on both the questions completed inside, like during class and outside of class. The problems completed and the ones that they got correct would receive a score of a 4, meaning the student has mastery over the concept or the problem at hand. Sorry, I'm just like trying to remember my notes. Yeah, so a score of a 2 would mean that the student has attempted a problem um, or got stuck or has finished it, but it's not correct. And a score of a 0 means that the student did not attempt the problem. When the packet is turned in on Friday, I would grade them and return them on Monday or whenever the next math lesson is. Students that received a 2 or a 0, they have time to like ask questions, receive help on the ones they got stuck, and then this could be done in like small groups, pairs, um, so they can work on it together and figure it out, or just individually with me as well. They can ask questions one on one. Yeah, so then they complete them at home again. So they have another week to go back, redo them, or start doing them if they have not attempted them yet. And then they would turn them in again on Friday. And so here's the thing: is it's kind of a responsibility factors. We move on throughout the week to new work, and so if they didn't get it completed on that Friday, it does build up. Um, but they have plenty of time in class to ask questions and get help from me and their peers after school um, as well. And this is a packet that's primarily done in class. So I just kind of want to emphasize that it's just whatever they didn't get to, which probably be only a few problems, would be out of classwork. Yeah. So let me see. Sorry about that. Yes, they would complete it at home and turn them in on Friday. And if they still didn't understand it, they haven't completed it or their kernel hasn't popped, they can have a one-on-one meeting with me. And I understand that they may not have completed it for a number of reasons, like home life, extracurricular activities, some other circumstance. But if it's a recurring thing, a call home would be necessary. And hopefully not, but potentially a teacher parent child meeting. Um, so so they would have until Wednesday. I would give them a few more days. They wouldn't have until the next Friday. They'd have until a Wednesday, or that next class period, like middle of the week, to complete their missing or partially completed assignments. Keeping in mind, there's class time to answer questions, ask questions, and receive help. And if they don't complete the assignments after 2.5 weeks, that's how long they have, then they receive a 2 or a 0, depending on if that problem was attempted or not. So I think that's fair. It's a practice packet. It's done in class. Whatever they don't get to is done at home. And at that grade level, they have to take some responsibility and they have to start learning that, and especially to prepare them for older, other grades as well. The coming up grades. That could change. You don't know, depending on the teacher, depending on the school. They could have a ton of homework. And so I actually interviewed a teacher, a friend of mine. Her name is Haley Weber. She lives in St. Louis, Missouri. She teaches kindergarten. And she actually does not give out homework. They provide a packet to do in class. Yes, they provide a packet to do in class, which is kind of cool. And the packets are not completed or graded for accuracy. So they basically just work on them, and what they get right, they get right. What they don't, they don't. But if you complete the packet, you get a point at the end of the week on Class Dojo, which is something I feel like I've heard about, but not very often. So this is kind of like, it's like a reward system. And so if they get up enough points from completing packets and then other assignments as well, like in school, then they get to like pick a prize. And she said prizes aren't like what you think. They're it's more like a book, lining up first, when they're going to recess. That's very exciting in kindergarten. Pencil grips, that type of thing. So things that they can use in class. Except for the lining up part, I guess. And so as a counter argument, I actually found this article in The Advocate, where it interviews a director of superintendents, I believe down in, I really want to say Louisiana. So he explains that the district isn't giving out homework. He does agree that it should be called practice, which I agree with. But he said the district can still give out assignments to be done outside of class or to be taken home, but they're not graded. So a teacher can give an assignment or a project, but that project can't be graded, which I thought was interesting. I don't really agree with that. There are some things that you cannot just do in class. And so essentially that they are a school that the students are completely free after school. With no homework, no practice, anything that's given outside of class, it doesn't count. So this seems to be the future, but what if you have a class that, you don't the students don't understand the material that they're learning? There's no way for them to practice this. And so, when it comes to test time, do they all fail? That's my question. If they're not getting practice, or they're not learning the concepts, and I guess whatever they do learn in class, the test would be adjusted. But if that test doesn't include mastery, subject questions, then they're only learning the basics, which doesn't seem right. But that's something to think about. So I don't fully agree with it, but you heard my kind of policy for a math class. So thanks for listening, and I hope I explained it thoroughly, and I hope I didn't get you too confused. So thank you.